go.
And I'll even start the recording while I start the ad copy, so everybody gets to hear Randy say, "Let's go." Hello, everybody, and welcome. Learn Dota 2 League Season 13, Week 4. We didn't see anything of Week 3, but you know what we did see? We saw Trashboat on the way here. He was on his Greyhound bus, and we were like, "Hey, buddy, step off for a minute and come call with us." How's it going?
Yes, sir. You know it. I'm back. This time I'm sober.
Really, almost at this point, basically the third man in this desk, since we always recorded Dick O'Clock and Ocelot is not up at Dick O'Clock.
That's true.
Shoutouts to Randy.
Alright, so they're banned the Snapfire, as they should. I think it was the... What is it? Captain Viral? No, Jumpman. Jumpman, he's the guy that plays the Snap, as you told me.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, side note, if anybody in the chat knows, this guy has an NFT profile, so he seems pretty big on NFTs. I'm curious if that's unironic or not, because that's hilarious. I don't know. If anyone's in the chat and knows, let me know, please.
Okay, first pick CK. You love to see it.
That's interesting. Wonder what the hell that's gonna be.
Godlike Chad. It's definitely 3, I feel like.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna get pancreatic cancer by the end of this game.
Please don't.
Randy, change the goddamn stream title, would you? This is not going to be Auto versus X3.
Sorry. Forgot about that.
This hasn't been Auto versus X3 in 2 weeks. I don't know why that's still there.
I feel like CK is not really a Lambert hero, although I haven't really paid super close attention to what he's been playing recently. I
wouldn't be
surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is actually in the Lambert pool right now, because CK1 very popular at the moment, and you know.
So is the CK3.
That's true.
And Godlike Matt has been playing recently, so I do feel like it's a 3 here.
I know. I just really don't want it to be a 3 because I still don't like CK3.
Me neither, bro. It's so cancer. But you know, it is what it is. I'm a DP first picker, so.
By the way, apparently Mickle's been tracing off my notes. Those of you who watched the Quap Circles game last week will recall there was a first ban Snapfire both rounds, and that had a lot to do with the fact that one of the Hunter Bounties guys is almost a one-man, well, like a one-hero player on that Snapfire. That guy was stood in for that week, and we all cried ourselves to sleep.
Is he actually a one-man Snapfire player, though?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, we've seen his performances on Snapfire, we've seen his performances on not Snapfire. They're very different things. I'm starting to think maybe that person I was thinking of was actually the stand-in, but they just stood in 2 times. If that's the case,
maybe it's a coincidence that Jumpman has a lot of Snap games.
Yeah. If that's the case, then because I don't see the guy's name here. I think the guy stood in for them 2 weeks in a row, and they had 2 weeks of 2 stand-ins in a row. This Hunter Bounties team, man.
All right, so the Snap
for
ban basically is a race.
They're two together there.
Coming out with the double support, very interesting. They don't seem. I feel like they're really trying to thrive off that flexibility they have between the 1, 2, and 3. So.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of flexing on Hunter Bounty so far. We've seen Captain Viral, who you probably know best as, if you're a Season 12 guy, if you've been watching us in Season 12, you know that as Manifest Destiny. If you know if you're a big LD2L insider, you know that as Senior Cruz. And if you're like in the Dogtown clique, you know that as Charles. He's been playing.
Why does he have so many names?
I don't know. He just changes it every 3 minutes. I call him Chuck. So old Chuck, he's got like 3 roles he kind of cycles between. Ray Bebe, I think they flex Ray. I don't think they should actually, because Ray can kind of play 1 role. He is a really good one. Probably one of the best in the league at this moment. I think a good comparison is that he plays a lot like Esper. But he only
basically, you're saying between their 1, 2, and 3, they have Laser, they have the Chuckster, and they have Ray Bebe.
And Laser does not 2 very often. Usually on 2. Well, he does 2 often, but he swaps in 2. He's mostly their 4 player. People order our patties, of course, has been 3 and 1, could potentially 2, I think.
10 seconds
we'll see.
remaining.
A lot of
Yeah,
flex,
we'll
and it's a very interesting story here, which is why I really wanted to do this game. Because what you really have, you have two teams. You have MK-Ulty. It is this desk's opinion, and by this desk's opinion, I mean me. But I'm speaking for the two of you, because I don't respect you, and I'm just a dick like that. But it is this desk's opinion that MK-Ulty is probably the favorite to win this season overall, I think. I don't know if it's that close in comparison.
Nah.
It is a ridiculously good team.
So it's a ridiculously good team, but I don't know, man. I feel like Minoy team, just the mentality of that team. They have their 1 and their 3 who are pretty sandbagged. They have Minoy himself with a good mentality, because I've stood in for these guys. I feel like they could pull something off, like an upside in the playoffs.
No, they are the only. I think the only real credible threats to MK-Ulty as far as being the top dog in the pack are Debushton 911, the Minoy team, and Birds Aren't Real, the Bismarck team. And I think that's it. I think aside from that, MK-Ulty is gonna run wild with a lot of this season. They are.
I agree.
It is 5. Well, it is 3 really good players and 2 supports that people like. Bristle
Bristleback.
coming out. Interesting. That could go a lot of places. Probably Poop. Probably 3.
It's probably 1 or 3, I'd say. They've never played in mid.
Poop
also
is Poop's
just
probably signature hero is Bristle.
Oh, really? Yeah, it is. Wow. That's pretty OP. He does seem to almost exclusively play offlane though, so we know that well.
Right.
Bit of an interesting move to not flex.
I mean,
But
they
just
could
really want it.
potentially flex. They could potentially throw another 3 and put Bristle on 1, but it's probably Bristle 3.
Yeah, that's such a grief, because like you've got it on patties, right? So might as well just play it.
Right.
Okay, Pugna Coddle.
I mean, Poop has
Just-
been 1 this season. It could be Poop 1 Bristle.
Wait, is this a mid coddle?
It is probably a mid-coddle, yes.
Holy shit!
It is either
Yeah,
mid-coddle or
it is.
mid-pugna.
I've been waiting for it.
Probably not mid.
Homeboy, you missed 2 different Quap Circles games where we were running mid-coddle.
Yeah, that's true. And a Minoy game where you ran
Really?
mid Cuddle.
Dude,
Yeah.
I need to watch more Elite 12. I've been too busy with
Yeah.
school.
Come on, dude. And in the alternate reality where you haven't been too busy with school, it would have been your ass running Coddle Mid 2 times this season. So
I mean, if you saw my recent games of Coddle, I don't think you would.
yeah, probably not. I have been in a game with you as Coddle Mid. The ultimate burial.
Sad.
To be fair, I was pretty stoned for that one, if I recall.
That's true. Dude,
Yeah,
that was
I
also the
like-
session where you kept like doing insane things. It'd be like you'd be storm through, you'd be Diamond T4s, you'd be like, "Where's my pit lord, bro?" And I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I don't know. My map awareness is just out the window when I'm high.
Anyway, we got
Lena
Lena
mid.
here. Very interesting. We
Lena
got
mid.
probably. That means we're probably looking at laser mid this game.
That's very that's really ballsy of them to put laser onto mid. Because he did play the Lena mid against
Yes.
Quap Circles, if you guys recall.
Yes.
So I don't know. He's gonna go against Mickle on assuming Coddle,
And-
so I don't know how that goes.
and
for him.
Mickle,
keep in
Mickle's
mind-
been playing 1, hasn't he?
Keep
For the
in mind,
snap?
no, he's been playing 2
Okay.
mostly. He has
He's been-
flexed 1.
He's been
but-
practicing 1, so
He's flexed 1, but he's mostly been 2. So for the record,
I think he's been
Lena-
practicing 1.
Laser Goes Pew Pew played against a Coddle mid last week, right? And Lena won. Lena won that matchup by a pretty decisive degree for one big reason, and this is something I think you kind of get for an obvious reason with the friend stack you got going on here, right? And what this really is actually, it's too many friend stacks because you get 3 guys who are like the original friend stack, and then you got Chuck and Poop who are part of the Dogtown Kid Dynamite clique, right?
But anyway, yeah.
So, they have loads of rotations. If any of their lanes are winning even marginally, they are not afraid at all to just pull the support in and just drop a pound of crap on the other guy's head. So what ended
Here's
up
the thing.
happening to Coddle in that game is that after the off lanes in both games got pretty messed up, and a large part that's because Tall Balls was playing super goddamn sick. We really should have gotten a stand him, and he didn't tell anybody, unfortunately. But I mean, good on him for like showing up. I mean, if you want to talk about morale, I know people talk about Quap Circles and morale a lot. If you want to talk about morale, that guy showed up like on his deathbed to play some goddamn Dota. That's good morale to me. Anyway, so both of those games, you know, you had the offlane fall apart, and both of those games, the pause 5 was just continually making a nuisance of himself against that Coddle. And if they're going to run that back again, I can't see how it doesn't succeed for them, because
Well,
Coddle is the perfect guy to gank, I think.
Well, here's the thing. I'm assuming. Okay, so I'm not gonna say I'm a good Coddle player by any stretch. In fact, I haven't won on him this patch, which is pretty embarrassing. But I do understand the concept of the hero, right? I understand from watching pro replays how you should be playing it, and I just feel like if you are a Coddle against a Lina, just as a mid, you'll be nuking the wave first, no matter what. Even if the Lina just goes up right to your cliffside, presses Q, you still have to deal with the range creep, unless she's level 4 Q. And Coddle will win the pushing trade, basically, before that. And if you're constantly getting your wave pushed in, you can't really gank against that guy. Like, even if the pause 5 comes in, a good Coddle will have already nuked the wave, so it wouldn't matter. Like, because he'd be under his tower. So I feel like if this Coddle knows how to play, that strategy won't work here.
Damn, really shading Kai here.
Oh, that was Kylo. Oh yeah, it was your team. Well, yeah, but pretty cringe from Kai. It depends on the support though. If it's like a, it depends on the support. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
They were oftentimes ringing 2 for him, so keep that in mind. Yeah.
Okay, well then you need TP rotations for that if you're going that far. I'm assuming TP rotations will come. By the way, when I say all this, yeah. But Tiny versus PL.
So it's actually going to be Pugna mid.
Oh, interesting choice. I do feel like you could. Pugna doesn't feel very good against Selena. I don't know why he would do. Yeah, I feel like that's really bad, isn't that?
Yeah, I can't think of a way that matchup goes that much in Pugna's favor. I'd also like to point out another interesting matchup going on here. We have Lambert on the PL, and we have Ray Bay on that Tony.
Yeah,
Antonio.
As I was gonna mention when Trash would asked, I think Tiny wins this matchup late pretty easily, because Tiny is a hero that pretty much 100% will buy, you know, like the same slot of items each game, and those items kind of screw PL over. You know, he gets Echo Saber, Shard, lots of AoE, like
have you seen the Moon
crunch damage, recently, and then like Silver Edge after that, which is just more.
So he could actually go the Moon Shard build and become even faster as a hero.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you get Shard, it's over for MK-Ulty. I feel like that's the strategy they're going for right now, because they have the Bristle to like just roll over if his lane isn't shit on, which PL can't really shit on his lane. And they have a Lina who will be medium strong by the time Tiny gets his Shard. So they're just gonna try to go for a mid game timing and end the game. I feel like that's what it's shaping up to be, especially since they have that extra push from Shaman.
It's going to be interesting because I feel like, funnily enough, that's actually exactly what MK-Ulty is probably thinking with this lineup as well, is probably to secure the early advantage and to secure the early victory. And it's very interesting because I think it really is just whoever does this wins. Because
here's a difference though.
This uphill is not great. You got Ogre, that's cool. You got the Snakes, that's cool once every 15 minutes. That's it. Bristleback uphill, that is not where you want to be with him. I can tell you this, having played a load of Bristleback myself. You know, it seems like, hey, it's great, you know, they're coming up to you, they're going to be in the Quill Spray and all that, but, I mean, the reality of the situation is, everything positioning base is coming out on that uphill push. It really, really screws with your ability to actually go down, and the worst part is, oftentimes, when you're getting uphilled, especially early on, you can't really go out and chase, which means that you're missing basically half your hero, right?
Sorry, I'm confused. What is this uphill, downhill talk for? Like, is it for high ground defense?
Yes.
High ground defense, yeah.
Okay. I feel like for high ground defense, though, the Snakes... but CK is really broken, so we'll see. We'll see.
CK's got the answer to that, and that happens once in a while. They got a really good lineup. You know, between all these guys, I got a really good lineup to make sure that the uphill pressure is not coming once in a while. It's not coming once every time Snakes are down. Because, you know, consider, you've got Coddle, he's out there nuking every wave you got. You got Pugna, he's out there nuking every wave you got. You know, Witch Doctor and CK aren't that great at nuking, but they got a lot to say about Equilibrium. And of course, PL is in a great position to sort of steady himself. 3 runes actually going to 100 bounties here, by the way.
I really don't understand why Matt didn't walk up to a rune there. He just sat there with those Q leveled. He didn't really stop. Very interesting choice.
But yeah, PL has a great siege ability, and PL incidentally is going to be very bad to everybody on that lineup except Tiny. Like, Bristleback is on paper, you know, in the lane he does well, and on paper, late Bristle does well, but he has to build all around PL, which means, you know, he's missing out on the ability to stand up to CK, he's missing out on his ability to stand up to Pugna, and he's missing out on his ability to deal with the support line tricks, right? And if you don't build all around PL, let me tell you what happens. PL drains all your mana in 3 seconds, and then you stop having any impact on fights.
Yeah.
So, you know, on paper it looks good for Riffle, but in reality, not really so much. How he lanes this is going to be very important, and how he builds this is going to be very important. Captain Viral, trying to make Run Over Meat a very appropriate name there. Just, taking the Witch Doctor really low in this support trade.
Yeah, the top lane trading is not going well for Witch Doctor, as you would kind of expect against an Ogre, I guess.
Right.
This Lina is somehow getting out-traded by this Pugna. I find that's very... I guess it's the MMR difference showing.
Right. I mean, just you know, the two things to note here. I mean, I guess in fairness, Mickle isn't a mid main either, but you know, it's a non-mid main Herald pulling here at mid. We've actually seen in the past, sometimes that has actually worked. Like, we've actually seen in Season 12, not a 12-year-old boy who is Herald and not a mid main, actually do some work with the mid quap. But outside of that, it is a tough sitch.
Yeah, I do tend to find that if I go against a player 2 medals above me, it doesn't really matter too much what role they play. They can usually beat me in lane. So I feel like this is a case of that. Maybe 3 medals, or 2 medals with a hero they actually play. But I feel like it's the way he's beating him right now is just like fundamental stuff, like how to position for range creep, how to like trade efficiently using your spells, stuff like that. If this Pugna gets a good start, I can totally see it going the way Anani talked about.
We gotta go on Tiny. He's likely dead.
Ooh, guy like Matt got blasted back by the creep wave. He got with a bounce, but doesn't matter.
Big. Tiny
Guy like Matt.
Really, I think he's the weakest when he gets shut down early like that, and
he is super
escape there by the skin of his teeth.
Focused.
Yeah.
I don't know why Tiny wanted nothing more to do with that tree. Didn't even want to use it for harass, just got rid of it. This seems like a good time because we've been having some fun in these lanes since the round started, but we're slowing down a little bit, so this seems like a good time for our roll call here. So on MK-Ulty, position 1 on the Phantom Lancer, you got Lambert. Position 2, captain of the team, you got Mickle, the Pickle on Pugna, very appropriate green hero here. Pause 3. Pause 3, Godlike Matt on that Chaos Knight. Pause 4, Run Over Meat, currently on Witch Doctor. And pause 5, we've got Keeper of the Coddle, being played by Peaches.
I had no idea Mickle had such a great nickname.
Meanwhile, on Hunter Bounty's no graphic team, we've got Ray Bay Bay, pause 1, playing Tiny. Pause 2, we've got Laser Ghost Pew Pew as Lean. I do not expect him to stay here both games. It is not generally a good guess. Pause 3. Well, we gotta see this happen before we look at that. Run Over Meat is First Blood. Just gets run over by this tiny Witch Doctor, or not Witch Doctor, tiny Ogre combo. Felt like Matt back here dealing with the wave. Witch Doctor really probably shouldn't have been standing around here.
I feel like this Ogre Tiny lane is absolutely terrible to play against, unless you're playing like a DK or CK, which luckily we have one of those. So
I don't know. I don't think the CK here. Yeah, I don't think the CK here is really the solution you need in this lane. I think the solution you need in this lane is somebody who can survive Tiny and take the spurs to him. CK can definitely take the spurs to Tiny, but he's going to be hard-pressed to live through it, especially with the Ogre backing him up. And
there's not much that can do both against a Tiny, I feel like. Unless you play like a Viper, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it. I feel like surviving
there are definitely heroes that can have their cake and eat it against Tiny. I've seen it happen myself.
I meant Tiny Ogre, not just the Tiny itself.
Against a Tiny Ogre, it is a pretty small list, in fairness.
Good Ava pretty much shuts down any go on Ray Bebe there.
Did I finish the roll call for these guys? No, I got distracted by First Blood. Pause 3, people, order our patties, also known as Pat's My Daddy. Sponsored by the Kansas City Chiefs, playing Bristleback today. Pause
Is he
4.
really? That's a big sponsor.
Yeah, it is a pretty big sponsor. Pause 4, Jumpman, sponsored by NFTs on the Shadow Shaman. And finally, pause 5, captain of the team, Captain Virile, aka Manifest Destiny, aka Charles, aka 19 other things on the Ogre Magi. And again, don't expect him to stay in this. So, as I was starting to say at the top of the game, at the start of this pick phase, right? On one hand, you've got MK-Ulty. These are the big bad guys on the block. These are the
They're
king
going
of
to
the
Charles
mountain
up here. He's likely dead.
Oh my god.
No,
No way he lives that.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
It's a pretty sick E. The level 2 E is pretty sick from Witch Doctor.
Yep. It's oh, that's interesting though.
They
How
got
did Lambert
Lambert.
die?
I'm
Interesting.
not 100% sure. I'm going to assume just got taken, just dealt with while Cuddle was out of the lane doing something or other.
But his support was there. I guess the Coddle doesn't really save you at all. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
Big Cuddle has no saves, yeah. Not until, I mean, this isn't really a save. It's obviously not a save, this isn't a save. Not really until you get old. Does he have any sort of save?
oh my god, he's going for the
Lambert
kill
is
here.
not happy with this.
He might actually get this. If he gets a couple hits. Oh. Oh,
You're
nah.
taking a lot of quill damage.
It's not enough.
Oh god.
He's gonna throw. No way, bros. No way, he's
He's
dead.
dead.
Oh wait, no
He doesn't
mana.
have
No
mana.
mana.
Crystal has no mana. Yeah.
Mickle is here!
Wagner? Okay, big.
Crystal is super dead.
Good stuff.
Lean Mug.
Honestly.
Absolutely.
Good rotation from Mickle. I really
That
like
could have
it.
been really bad for Lambert without the rotation.
there
Yeah.
was no good reason for him to go for that. Like, I don't know, but it ends up
Yeah,
working
what
out.
you do in that situation, if you want to tip against any Bristleback players, when you see that soul ring, you're done. Walk right back in the lane. He just wasted a lot of his health, and if he doesn't get the mana off on you in good time, and he will struggle to do so if you're not chasing him, you win.
I mean, but here's the thing. It's also just like one of those high-risk, low-reward plays. Like, if you
Right.
get killed again, you don't have TP, and you don't have 6. I feel like you just sit in lane until 6 on PL in this type of scenario.
Right.
But then again, I don't know PL. Maybe it's level 7.
Tiny's buying Midas in this game, by the way. Just wanted to point that out.
Oh my god,
Interesting.
Midas? That means his lane's really good, which I don't feel like it is.
Speaking of interesting, by the way, we had a rotation here from Lena. Tiny attempted to throw CK under the T1 tower there, but just ended up throwing a creep instead.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Lambert is rotated up here mid to try and take the free farm now.
Yeah,
Not
I
a
think
bad
he
idea.
realizes it's I do think he's just farmed. Oh wait, yeah. He seems to be running towards yeah, okay, never mind. I think you were saying he was top.
No, Lambert
Okay.
was up here mid. He was down there.
yeah. I see. I was like, yeah. But the Midas is definitely an interesting choice. I feel like it's kind of griefing his timing, like as a Tiny, but I'm not a carry player, so I wouldn't really know.
Yeah.
I feel like you just want to rush out the items on Tiny though, because I mean, who else?
Yeah.
Who's gonna fight against you when you have a Moon Shard and a regular Shard?
Shoutouts to a load of guys who should be in various games right now in chat. By the way, I'd like to remind
Elephants.
those of you who are new here, like anybody who's named Howler, we are 2 minutes behind, so we will not be able to respond to chat very quickly. So if we are slow to respond to what you say, our apologies. Oh, Cuddle going for full stick here is definitely, or full wand here is definitely good, assuming he actually is still in lane against Bristle to any significant degree. But I feel like building it when Bristleback is like you're just not doing anything about him anymore may not
I
be
feel
the
like
best.
this lane's rather seeded.
Yep.
I mean, it's yeah. I kind of agree though. It's not you're not really using the spells, but here's the thing: it's kind of an investment because you're gonna face this guy anyway later in the fights, and he's gonna spam his shit. So maybe it is good.
Well, if that's what you're down for, the question is, do you need it now? But Peaches is pretty stubbornly
trouble, yeah.
trying to defend this tower here.
Ooh.
I know there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Probably
Peaches.
not after this.
I know there's a lot of Peaches fans out there in the audience, and I understand that Peaches is probably a good person, but I think honestly one of the more overrated supports in the LD2L roster. I'm very sorry to say.
I can't speak
Well,
to a
is
rating,
that-
but what? Gets a nice little kill. Wow.
It gets a kill
Hug
through
on
the
the mana.
Brother.
through the
Hug
infused.
on no mana. So did he try to fight that? I didn't see that. Did he try to fight down Bogdan?
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah, he did. He just got all the Lena spells used on him.
Yeah. This is what you do on Lena. You just click him down so that he's not at a high HP, and then you can eventually burst him if he fights for too long.
Right, you win the war of
H's
attrition every
rotate
time.
stop makes this
Exactly.
support still
Lambert
happen.
is here. This is interesting. I don't know what Lambert really thinks he's gonna do. Coconut out.
Maybe
Coconut
he thought there was
away.
Witch Doctor ults.
Maybe he thought
Oh.
the Witch Doctor Maledict wasn't gonna come out right at the end of that trade.
Action in every lane here.
They do breaking the bristle, so it's kind of worth actually. Because no one's bottom now. Now Lambert just gets a free lane bottom.
And speaking of free, looking like the freest kill in the world on the Shadow Shaman here. He is doing so much to try and dodge CK, but ultimately Coddle ults bounces him back into the Knight's range and just gets his head lopped off. But all this is
gamers.
happening. I just like to point out, all this is happening. No attention being paid to Tiny up top.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. But equally little attention being paid to Lambert, so there's
That's
that.
true.
It's about even. Although Lambert does have this lane pushed in, so he can go a couple more ways. While Tiny has to start farming jungle with his without his
Well,
shard.
Lambert's gonna be farming jungle anyway. Sorry to
Oh.
tell you.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
Once again, I'm not a carry player, but as a mid, I would have shoved it one more wave.
Yeah.
Tiny's
sure.
finished his Midas. Picked it up at a cool 12 minutes, which is no Lambert Midas, that's for sure.
Lambert
CK just
Midas?
fat finger stun to creep.
Was this during his phase where he just Midas on like all his
Whistle's
zeros?
dead. Maybe?
He had one.
Oh, he's actually dead. He's dead. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Coddle
Wow.
actually had to show up to provide just a little bit of peppering shots, to make absolute sure.
I mean, it's also just she gets that XP there. Like that's big. It's a fat level off that. That's pretty.
Howler, how are
Is
you
she-
not in a
wait,
goddamn game right
Wait,
now?
is she use? Did she just use her fucking illuminate to get vision on the cliff there so that she could deward it?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know you could do that. What the hell?
Yeah, there are a lot of support abilities that provide vision.
But I
Speaking
didn't know
of
it was like the
supports-
coddle that could do that.
One thing that I was kind of getting into before a series of fights broke out, if there is a weak point on MK-Ulty, I do believe that their support line often is able to be bullied down very consistently. I think it's a weakness of Page's. I think sometimes the way she plays, it's two Stepford support, just makes her easy food. This game she's trying to avert that, but she's still having issues dealing with it. Witch Doctor, on the other hand, is just food. I mean, this guy is basically just a guy you right-click and run at in this game.
I
Now,
mean,
he's not
you say
dying
that,
every
but
5 seconds, so that's good, but...
You say that, but they have higher levels on the supports on the
Yeah, they do.
Ulti side, so maybe they're just clearly doing something right.
It's very unusual for an MK-Ulty lineup, then.
Maybe they just,
Actually,
re-
Per-
just
perhaps
really
they've been, perhaps they've been
problem
hearing me
this
complain about that every week since week 1. And they're like, maybe we should stop that.
Oh, they're all
Still-
TPing to defend this?
Yeah,
I
there.
feel like
Just like
this
bots.
grief is a massive grief. He doesn't
Scanning
have...
or scanning, they found them. They
yet?
know they're still here.
Yeah, they're not bots yet on the Pugna, and they could have just easily just sent one person down there like the Coddle to nuke it out.
Smoking to kind of obscure their movements here.
Yeah, they're... I mean, this is massive goofing for Radiant side. Smoke, I don't know if it was necessary, but Dire responding accordingly, just getting out and splitting the map.
Yeah, wanting
Yeah, I don't know.
no part of fights right now, which I don't blame them. I
Yeah.
think right now, Dire really do not want actual fights. Dire really want picks.
I mean, I agree, but this... Wow, I don't... What is Radiant doing, actually? They're still bottom. They
They're
really
just,
want the
Team
power.
Jungle, baby. They are determined not to
That's
be set for the this week.
They don't have TPs on this CK or this Pugna.
Sad. They don't have it
Interesting.
on. They don't have it on anybody. The only person on this entire lineup with a TV right now
Yeah,
is
Lambert
Lambert.
does one.
Yeah, that's massive griefing from the whole team except Lambert. And
Well,
look
you
at
know,
this. Shaman can just
Ogre-
defend this.
Ogre and Shaman
Wait.
missing this on their own side. Shaman cannot defend this.
Shaman can. Okay, you know what? The nukes are piling in, but here's the thing: if they decide to rotate more people, they have to get out. Shaman can delay the wave, but they don't. They're not.
They
really-
don't need the wave. They got Pugna with Aether ones. He's just going to drop Q on the tower. As long
I
as
do
it
feel like
works.
they should defend this, just because they're not gonna get top. I don't know. I guess they have siege wave top.
Still get
Well,
the
they're gonna
tower.
get top because nobody has TP. Nobody can rotate for that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They don't know that though, so
Yeah, he's backing up. He doesn't know. He's.
TPs are coming out now. Mickle pulled out, and he's finished his travels incidentally.
But here's the thing. I like the play. Oh, fight breaking out the river.
Well, less a fight,
Oh,
more the
unfortunate.
death of run over mate.
Yep, indeed.
And Cuddle as well.
At the very least, a Maledict does finish off Ogre, so all the supports die, and money goes into Tiny's pocket, which ain't great.
They must have heard you praising them.
Yeah. They're changing things, I say, right before they unchange things and go back to the more normal standard.
Exactly. But anyway, I feel like if the move really was to push in bottom, it ends up being really good. I feel like because they took that and they also have the mid tower, they can invade this dire side triangle really easily, or just play on their side of the map, like the outpost area, as well.
Right. Chaos
feel like
Knight
it's
is
really
like, look here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Peel also skipping Deflate on Peel.
Radiant's top tower
He
is
was,
under
I think he actually has it coming in on Courier, because he was building it. Yeah, he
Oh,
has
really?
it on Courier.
Oh yeah, okay, my bad.
He did skip it. He got Yasha first, which against a Bristleback,
Yeah.
I don't know why you do that, to be honest with you. Essence Ring
Just
dropped.
delayed it rather than skipping it.
Yep.
And
T2
I didn't
is
see
coming
the
out.
career.
I mean, he's just gonna farm anyway, so why would he need defusal? I feel like he was way too behind early, or at least couldn't really fight them early on.
Radiant's
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
Yasha's good
pretty
as a farming
simple.
item.
You get the diff if you want to go picks, and he was definitely going picks for a while there. Like he was like the fight at mid where he was jumping on Lena, like that little encounter at top where he was just swimming in Bristleback. You know, he's clear. He's playing like he has a diff blade when he just finished it, basically.
That's true. The Lena part was pretty confusing to me.
I think if it's diff there rather than Yasha, he has a kill.
Everyone's clumping around bottom again. This Lena has no mana, so I don't think she can really fight unless it's like.
Lena has no mana, and Ogre Magi has no ability to live, which
Oh,
gets
man.
completely annihilated by this Radiant lineup. Just eat these two. Just
Oh,
stray
And
a little too far.
everyone else leaves them to their fate.
Yep,
I
no
feel like
surprise
once
there.
they saw the PL there, they should have assumed they were a little clumped. I think they thought it was only 2 heroes. That's why they played so front forward.
Potentially.
But they saw PL hit the ward, so don't really know what the plan was there.
Looking at Bristle now. Bristle has
from
stayed
Bristle.
really close to this.
That
CK
can also- can they
probably
kill
should
him?
have started with W.
Don't know if they can kill this. Pugna could do the damage.
He's still got Maledict on him.
Oh, Lambert's here.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yep. Witch Doctor is also going to die though.
Dude, this
Lambert is going
this
to chase the support wave here.
diffusal stuff is like Lambert's bread and butter. You know, he loves the diffusal heroes like Ricky and shit. Loves that
He
stuff.
loves his Ricky. He loves his. I mean, Terrorblade isn't. It's not very traditional in Terrorblade anymore. Like everybody
Sometimes I
who's
think
ever played it. builds
He
it
should
this way.
honestly probably just be a mid player. Like the way he plays the map sometimes, I'm like, why are you playing carry, bro? You know, it just fits him so well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But,
I don't know
this
if I
is
could
working
live.
out.
I don't know if I could live in the world where Lambert plays Pos 2. I think I could live in the world where Kai plays Pos 2, more than I can live in the world where Lambert
No,
plays.
you
Pos
have
2.
to.
Yeah, I
You
know.
have to live in
I made that reality happen. Pupil's gift. Quicksilver.
It has always been interesting to me though how Lambert has been pretty much. I mean, no, he plays 4. I was gonna say he's a carry only, but he's not really.
He also
Maybe
does
just-
4, but it's pretty rare to see him go 4. He's mostly a one hero wonder on 4, as I understand it.
Sure.
Taking a
Oh,
look at the net
let's see
worth
a
chart, we
neutral
haven't had
item.
that open in a very long time, but Ray Bebe and Lambert, the PL and the Tiny here, very, very,
Yep.
very close.
Yeah,
They
rather
also missed
untouched.
the neutral item here near their outpost on Radiant side. Oh, fight breaking out. Mickle out of position.
Yeah, he's
Oh, but they're going for
Oh,
the
Maledict
PL?
is nobody.
Oh, Tiny not throwing the Witch Doctor. Oh, he doesn't see him. Oh boy, this
CK
Tiny.
just came into the fight at the perfect time to just get stunned and do nothing, and
Oh,
Lambert just
Lambert.
got Lena ulted. Most casual Lina ult in the world.
Oh, is this Lina alive? No way.
She's running through a lot of sentries, but looks like yes.
Super big. Tiny's back in the fight.
Oh! He just goes for a kill. Doesn't matter though. Now she's dead.
Yeah,
Wow, they
that's
completely
a 5 for
misplayed that.
1.
All 5 going down. That was a I think that was a very ill-coordinated fight on the part of MK-Ulty there.
Here's
It
the
felt
thing.
like every single person in that fight was going after a different target there.
I agree. Both teams didn't really play that very clean at all. But here's the thing. I feel like that's going to be the outcome even if both do play it well. Because, like, this tiny shit is so OP once it gets to Shard, as everyone knows. And, like, just on a 5v5 basis, like, it's basically, it's like a 4v5. It's like fighting a 4v5 for Radiant, because PL doesn't have the strength of Tiny.
Right.
Yeah, Peel fell down the network chart after that fight as well, pretty dramatically.
I was talking earlier about how the team that secures the early game advantage probably wins this out. And look, right now it's looking like the friend club here. They've just etched themselves a really big early game advantage, and that is really nasty for the MK-Ulty lineup because you know
I wasn't
don't know.
saying. I wasn't really saying that. I was more so saying this tiny.
Well, that's what I was
team...
saying though.
Okay. You were saying it like you're extending off my point. I'm like,
No,
that's
no,
the opposite
no.
of what I was
That's what I was saying at the start of the game. Like, both teams looking at trying to get something dramatic done early game, especially this MK-Ulty lineup, because I think MK-Ulty, I think they really pawned off a lot of their late game to try and get some early advantages, because you know this game goes another 15 minutes. I think a lot of these guys are just off the map. Like, you know, great, you got CK. CK could potentially go, like, CK could potentially mean something at, like, 50 or 60 minutes, but you're never going to get there.
I mean, CK is strong regardless before it hits 50, but I do feel like it's just bad. It's just a bad strategy to do. Like an early game fight, draft against Dire. They just have way too much team fight in the mid game.
Smoke.
I guess they're thinking CK calls meta. We'll fight. We're probably stronger, but they are going against Tiny.
What kind of fizzles out there?
Yep, smoke goes out on absolutely nothing.
So Tiny indeed, the Moon Shard.
Yep, Moonshard is here. He's going BKB next, which is no surprise there. It's going to mean a lot during these fights. It's going to...
The big timing for Tiny is in about 5 minutes.
He's literally going to be unkillable.
The interesting thing is that, at the very least, it's not like MK-Ulty hasn't BKB near invincible lineup. That's really, at this point, basically all thanks to this guy. CK has, you know, he doesn't have a world of physical damage. If he was 1, he would have a world of physical damage. He doesn't have a world of physical damage, but he at least has enough that he's going to be able to bash Tiny through BKB. He's going to be able to close a deal. He's not going to be able to completely kill the guy, but he's going to be able to close a deal, and that's something that you often are lacking in a scenario like this. So, Tiny getting BKB is going to be big. It's not going to instantly, I think, win the game necessarily, but it is definitely going to be big.
By Brewing?
Immediately, they're playing much more of a skirmish-type game this time. CK the first to go in, eats the Shaman shards, or snakes rather than shards. This is going to
Matt's on an island, man.
BKB'd off the sun.
Massive miscommunication on whether or not they should have fought there. Seems Matt wanted to go in. Oh, but the bug is doing some damage? Nope.
Oh, the Lina stun.
Yeah, very good LSA, very good Avalanche following that up. Just keeps the two down there at mid, just pen the whole fight. Wow. This is spiraling really badly.
Here. Putting in work.
Oh, he's dead.
Okay,
fire for 1 again.
Yep.
I know you're not supposed to say that as a caster, but it's over.
Are you not? I see that a lot.
Yeah,
oh, really?
I do that every week.
Yeah.
Well, for some reason,
there's at least one game. There's at least one game a week where it's just like you just call the GG here, right? Like, you know, there's really nothing more to do. I do think you know, sometimes we talk about where is the you know, where's the path to victory? You gotta there's 2 parts to winning a game. You gotta find a path to victory and then actually go down it. I don't know where the path to victory is for MK-Ulty right now, and this is a big deal.
According to Gabe.
This is a very big deal. I mentioned earlier Bristleback is building everything for the PL here. He just finished this Crimson Guard. That's going to be a massive, massive detriment to both CK and PL's abilities to really get a lot done in these fights.
Now they're gonna have a 65.
Now they're gonna have
Tiny, who they
they're gonna
haven't
have
even
a,
killed once.
we're gonna have a
Okay, we're moving
65
on.
against this Tiny who's not died once, who has, you know, I believe is BKB's coming. Let's check that out.
It is. They
Yep, BKB coming.
in fact they gave their Aegis to Lina. That's how
Aegis to
confident,
Lina,
how unkillable this Tiny is on
Right.
their side. That's how confident they are.
The story I was talking about at the start of the game, you have MK-Ulty, who's the guys who are really at the top of the pack, the very top of the heap.
Radiant's
And
middle tower has fallen.
then you've got, on the other hand, you've got the Chuck team. You've got Hunter Bounties. A team that really started off in the absolute gutter. Like, probably had, like, they're the This Is Sparta, basically, this season. Like, their week 1 game was abysmal. I thought these guys were no-hopers, but they
have
just
not
been,
lost a game
yep,
since.
they've been
and
turning it
are
around,
not looking
building
to
up more
lose
and more
this
and
one.
more. And they're coming in with what's really looking like a fairly confident victory. If nothing else, certainly an experienced MK-Ulty will never forget, even if they pull the miracle and turn this match around, it's definitely an experience you're never going to forget.
Yeah.
You want to hear some private speculation based on the personality of the player?
What?
Lambert
Yeah,
super
let's-
underestimates Tinies. Lambert's like, oh no, you can counter the Tiny. Tiny, no big deal. Tiny overrated. I think that might be costing him this particular match.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he would go with that after this game. But we'll see.
I know for a fact that Lambert does a lot of the drafting. For this
Oh, look at the Tiny though. It's getting low.
yeah,
He's actually gonna die.
Oh my God, Lambert's killing it.
They
that a
super overcommit to this push uphill here.
Very topical.
Yeah, Tiny is very good, as we've seen through this game, but unfortunately, Tiny's not invincible. So if you're gonna do a push like that, you need Mr. Tony to have the Aegis. Lena gets out
I
of
feel
there.
like
and
it was
she's
really
fine.
the Pugna that carried that fight because they couldn't kill the CK, and the Tiny overcommitted for that CK kill,
Right.
and ended up dying.
good bait.
Yep.
That's why MK-Ulty's the best, brother. And
It was
we were
nothing
talking
for
about
that.
that before the game. You know, if you want to talk about defense, if you want to talk about the bottom line in defense in LD2L, there is nobody, and I mean nobody, who defends things uphill like Godlike Matt. Nobody in this entire game does that. Well, people in this game do that, but nobody in this entire league does that.
Defend things. Uphill.
yeah, everyone else just sits in fountain.
Yeah, everybody else just sits in fountain. No, I'm not saying everybody else just sits in fountain. I'm saying like this guy, and this guy
Oh.
is an expert in this department.
Okay.
The premier
Yeah,
expert.
Elite the Ogre. This
Yep.
is suddenly looking really bad. I'm not sure what happened. Well, I know what happened, but I'm not sure why it happened.
PL finished chart is why they're suddenly having a power spike, if you're wondering. And you're seeing some of the issues you got with a PL in this particular game. You know, Bristleback is quickly pretty much knocked out of action. Tiny has to focus PL or he's just going to lose the fight. Lena doesn't have much to do. The rest of these guys get owned with PL. PL's been the whipping boy for a while, but now he's got that heart. All of a sudden he means something, and so now they need to adjust to that reality. I think it's a reality that can be adjusted to. I think if they do adjust to that reality, this is still a pretty comfortable win, but they have to adjust to it. Looking at Coddle here. Coddle's super dead.
He's killing the column.
Yep.
They should really go on this Pugna here. I mean, what is Pugna gonna do?
They are. Well, at least Bristleback is.
Seems the rest of the team doesn't want to commit, which is very interesting. I don't know. I feel like you need to commit to that. The rest of the team
Had
way
no
too
vision.
slow.
They throw their Tiny in.
Dude, if this fucking Witch Doctor lives, man, oh my god, he forced himself into the... Bro. I feel like he could have lived there. But, what can you do?
So they're gonna
Bristle
have to, like,
chatting
yeah,
up.
without Aegis.
Yeah, they're still gonna
Cool
do it with no
carry, right?
supports. They got no Aegis, but they got all their ults this time.
Oh! Godlike Matt?
Captain
Oh, okay.
Viral eliminated
He's dead.
from play.
Yeah.
Like Matt is gonna go down. Pugna actually using the offensive suck there rather than the
Lambert
defensive,
is
but Lambert's
trying to
coming in for the back.
punch a hole in the backlines, yeah.
He's
Oh.
found Tiny again. Tiny's not really ready for him
Oh,
yet.
he's hexed.
He's got side. He's
Son
dead.
of-
He's just dead. Wow.
Okay.
By Lambert.
Big.
I feel like his Pugna
By
here
Pugna.
was literally doing nothing if it can't save CK like that. Like, it just does no damage here.
Yeah, I think definitely the play. Unfortunately for Mickle, I assume Mickle wants no part of that. The play for Mickle there is just pretend you're a pause 4 and just do nothing but just heal your carries over and over because this
They will likely get the lead
Let her
here.
back for this.
Skill
She has to
buyback.
get this kill. Gets it. Oh my god, he tips him too? I don't know if you tip him there, because you bought back for that shit. Oh no.
Yeah, that's true. It's 3 buybacks, so if they die, it could be very bad.
Bit interesting
Yeah,
though.
and
that
you can see even
you know,
with what
stick
they
around.
got, the gold change is still overwhelmingly in the favor of the Dire here. And consider
Yeah,
this
because
gold
Peel
change.
died and Tiny did not.
This gold change does not care about your buyback. That's why Lambert's technically in the positive, for example. It does not care about your buyback, so it's really more of a change than that. The
It is a pretty
advantage
big
is
kill, though.
16k. It's definitely a big kill, but it's not
I
the
think,
kill.
I think if Tiny dies, I'm a lot more comfortable than if Lena dies there.
Yeah. Nina's really looking at almost the end of her tenure here. I mean, when PL gets up, Lena's going down. That's pretty much as simple as that.
I would say there's more room to play as Alina when you get the Satanic, and you have a Tiny and Bristle to deal with Peel, so you just play away from Peel if you can.
Dire's top tower.
Well,
is
as I
under
talked
attack.
about at the beginning of the game, really in practice you have a Tiny. Though I will say, one thing I was not thinking about when I was talking about that, you know, because the last time I really played this matchup, this thing was not in the game yet. It had the Eternal Shroud on Bristleback, which is going to help him in a lot of ways to just stay relevant even when PL is stomping him.
I mean, yeah, we saw it in the last high ground fight. He just pops his shroud, and it's like, what the hell do you do? I mean, they were getting his mana down, to be fair, so maybe there is a way.
Tiny's picking up Shadow Blade, looking at, presumably, yeah, he's got the crits for it, looking at Silver Edge next.
Standard builds.
No surprise, no surprise. I feel like you very rarely see surprises on Tiny nowadays.
It's just
Yeah, as I said, he's a kind of a one build wonder Lambert.
They have
Oh.
found Bristleback. and
Bristle,
he is
feeding!
gone.
He's still alive.
Still alive. They damn vision.
Oh no,
Looks like the
CK.
Tiny's gonna come in, though. CK's dead. Oh, maybe not! The heal! Coming
Oh,
in barely!
no.
Like, we're
Alright.
distracting all of them, but he looks like he's dead, maybe? No, they don't have the catch. Tiny's coming in with the BKB, but he's hitting away. He's not hitting anything. He's going for Mickle, but Mickle could just W himself really easily here.
CK with just the last remaining hairs on his neck comes in, takes
Wow.
Lena out of the back of the fight.
Oh boy.
Bristleback
Tiny
CK
just kind of
going
watched
down.
his whole team die around him there.
Yeah, I don't know what this Tiny's doing, man. And he looks... Is he dead? No fucking
He
way.
is super dead.
Dude, this Tiny's mega threat.
Oh,
Well, okay,
God.
maybe Tiny just kills almost everybody now.
Okay. It's a
Oh,
little
my he's gone.
ridiculous.
Broken hero beats broken hero. Am I right, boys?
Oof.
Caudle beats him. But wow, that Tiny... I mean, dude, that's what he
What
could
a
have done
bloodbath.
if he, like, played the team fight better, and they wouldn't have died. Like, this Tiny's just jerking off nothing in these fights. He's getting mega kited.
Yeah, I mean,
With the Silver Edge,
what
too.
Tiny really needs to do in fights is one simple thing. He needs to do one simple thing if he wants to win this game. You see this guy? He needs to beat this guy up. He needs to beat the crap out of Lambert and forget anything else even exists in this game. You have a BKB, that's what it's
Lucky
for.
was actually
I mean, how
looking at
would-
Lambert when he said that.
Why would he go for Lambert, though? I feel like that's silly. He has a heart on Lambert, and he has a W to dispel your combo.
I think
Not
he needs
dispel
to do to
combo, but-
PL what's happening to him. Like, PL watches his team die around him. But
Exactly.
his team's not dying, that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, the
Whereas
problem
Tiny's team is.
with that is we have Silver Edge now. Well, yeah, we have Silver Edge now on the Tiny. Hit that PO with them, just break him at the start of the fights.
I mean,
I don't know if there's a path to victory if you don't do that.
They need to get Shaman catching the PL first, and then they have to also ensure that the Shaman's out of vision. Then they can actually go in the PL. But I feel like if you're just in the fight like that, with like both sides just ramming heads at each other, you need to go for a target more like Witch Doctor or the Pugna before he gets his W. Like, because if you just go for the PL, those couple seconds where you're just hitting him and you're not doing any damage or like not enough to kill him in a meaningful way, then it's just gonna grief your fight, as we saw, because he just gets kited when he tries to go for other supports. Because if you're hitting the PL for that time, you're giving other supports time to reposition.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that.
Counter argument to that. The reason that fight went so well for them is because Bristleback was initiated on, sitting there at like half or less mana the entire time, sometimes out, only really pulled out back from Eternal Shroud. Lena just got written off the side immediately. You know,
That's fair.
If you have the rest of the lineup playing, you know, around that strategy, I think the rest of the lineup's job here is just to play keep away. Just play keep away and make sure that the Tiny versus PL encounter is as close to a 1v1 as you can. Because this Tiny's loadout right now, I'm pretty sure if Tiny has his brain on, if he's using his Silver Edge right, for example, I think he just wins that. And I think if you do that, you just win the game instantly, basically.
Yeah, but it's hard to against a good PL. I feel like it's hard to do that. Though to be fair, he doesn't have Manta and Lambert, so maybe he can just force a 1v1 like that.
He's not even looking at it. He's got SNY and he's building Scotty next.
Yeah.
So he is going to be taking out Roche next. This is going to be very tricky.
They're definitely looking to make a play into the pit.
I don't know if they get there in time. I think they're too slow. They're walking away. Because they want the Tiny DD.
Alright, that's not.
It's too late. They have to go on this Bristle right now, dude.
They're going.
Bristle, chat up.
They see the pit. He's stunned.
A million things bounce off the Bristleback Lotus Orb, and then he gets knocked out of the pit by PL. Okay.
Tiny is the ward trapped.
Godlike Matt instantly going down to the fight. Lena very soon to follow.
Tiny's
Lena.
trapped. He can't fight.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
He's
what a-
TPing to the
He had to TP out. That's
Oh,
really
boy.
sad.
homeboy. Buy a Force Staff, please. Buy your friend
Get
a
your
Force
support to
Staff.
do it. Yeah.
He's gonna fight
Yeah,
this
that's what I
DD
mean.
Tiny. Oh boy.
Oh, Lambert.
First life
Yeah,
going
he
down on
just-
Lambert.
He's alone. He's actually
Yeah.
fucked. He has to run. Coddle coming up the clutch D, or whatever the name is, in the standard settings. But, okay, but here's a... Oh shit, they're still fighting.
Lambert, yeah, he's still committing to this.
He won! He has to BKB on Tiny. They could maybe kill him after this. If they keep kiting him?
Nope. You're just gonna keep going uphill, just keep using the mobility. Well, Laser's actually in the right spot for this.
Oh, Lena's up.
Hammer
though. They
wanted
need
to
get the
fight.
hell out. Yep.
So Lambert
I'm
just
really
die here.
confused.
Nope.
Oh
He
my
failed to go
God.
downhill!
That's bad RNG. That's really bad RNG.
He's gonna.
That was
He
mega
tried
bad
to try to fight, but
He
got the ogre at least. But that's
Oh, man,
really.
the gods spit in the face of Lambert.
But here's the
Really?
thing. I feel like he would have died anyway with Lena.
Probably.
If it's a good
Probably.
Lena, she'll anticipate it. She'll have the Silver Edge ready.
This is what I was sort of saying earlier when I was talking about how the ideal fight could go, because that was basically a perfect example of that. And even in the worst possible situation for Tiny to be in, his team still created that situation. Still created the, you know, here is Lambert, you know, separated from the
diving.
rest of the cast.
Yeah,
Goodbye,
that's
Godlike Matt.
complete GLM.
Jeez, base not safe.
Lambert buyback.
And with that, just that situation being created, they had nothing to stop the Tiny. He just beat the crap out of PL over and over and over until there's just nothing left of the guy. Now he's looking to do it again. I don't think he's going to be successful here, but
You have the tools to disable him. Bristle's no mana now. Bristle needs to back. Back.
Yeah, they don't have Aegis here.
Tony got
He's
maledicted.
getting low. He's
They're
getting
just
low.
chilling, niggas.
Ew, they should go on this Tony.
He's got BKB up. He's gonna. Oh my God!
He
They
doesn't
actually
have
clipped.
Satanic though. His Tiny's dead.
Oh, Lambert.
Tiny's just completely.
Oh,
Oh, no,
Lambert!
No way,
Where's
dude.
the team?
Well, where's the team? Well, Pugna and CK are in the grave, and Witch Doctor was sitting there in spawn with 10 HP left.
Oh,
Mickle
what a
calls the
finish.
G's, and that's it.
This Pugna pick actually did nothing except for that one fight with the CK. I feel like they need to reconsider. on
Maybe-
MK-Ulty's side.
Maybe one of the largest upsets we're going to see in an individual matchup this season, as Hunter Bounty's
Seems to
missing
be legit.
laptop takes
5 wins in a
win.
row.
Takes a win against MK-Ulty. Friend
like,
stack too friendly.
Next game, they need to put Mickle on a real hero that he actually plays, and then maybe it'll be more even.
Either way, if you're on YouTube, we'll be seeing you next time. If you're on Twitch, we'll be seeing you right now.